High noon stream here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. The high noon stream is basically, think of it as a cheat sheet for you. It's current events, headlines, hot topics, trends, anything that's happening in the world. We bring it to you right here every day at noon. Like I say, it's a cheat sheet. It's for you. It's so that you're not walking around in the world thinking, I didn't hear about that. No, you tune in to this show, High Noon, every Monday through Friday, and you get everything that you need to know. A little bit distracted here at the start of the show, and I'll get to that in a second. We've got something going on here. Also, we do a second stream that you need to be aware of. That's called Pillow Talk. That comes on at 9 p.m. Central Time every night. So you got two streams a day. This one, High Noon, trending topics, current events, hot topics, conversation. That's me alone doing this. High Noon, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. till about 2 o'clock. Then Pillow Talk comes on Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock. It's me and James Parker. It's Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. And that is, again, every Monday through Friday right here. Okay, so as I said, I'm a little bit distracted because we got some breaking news going on right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do the show here, as many of you know, from the One Percenter compound high atop, from beautiful downtown sunny Highland Park, Texas. Hold on. Is this working? I'm not getting this working. I am a little bit distracted. I do apologize. We have some news that is happening, and it affects us locally. I just need to pull it all up properly. All right. We don't seem to be having anything new on the... Well, as you guys know, typically we start out each and every show by going through all the day's history and the birthdays and all of that. But here's what's happening right now. I'm trying to find out as much as I can about it. There's been a shooting at Love Field here in Dallas. Just, oh my God, we're talking a stone's throw from here. I could jog to Love Field from here. And, I'm a fat guy, so, I can't jog that far. So that ought to tell you how close it is. About an hour ago now, it seems, there were some shots that were fired. The reason we were about 3 minutes late getting into the show today is because I was listening to the live. There was a live, was it the NBC affiliate here in town? They were talking about it. Hold on, let me... Again, this happens because, I'm trying to cover something that's happening live, and I'm not getting any real police traffic on the scanners on this one. All right, let's see what the latest is from Love Field so I can give you anything that's happening here. All right, let's see here. The latest. We're looking at some videos. Here, we'll do it this way. We'll see if... Here's the latest. All right, here is the story as it was updated 4 seconds ago from NBC5 DFW. Dallas police say there are reports of shots fired at Dallas Love Field Airport, but that no other information was yet available. It's not immediately clear where the shots were located or if anyone was hit. Police were seen blocking off an entrance to the airport, and an ambulance was seen leaving the terminal. Max Guerin, chief of police in Rockwall, said he and his family were evacuated safely from the airport and that the TSA did a great job. All flights inbound to Dallas Love are currently being held at their departure location until 12:30 p.m., the FAA says. Planes that have landed are currently being held on the apron and are not proceeding to gates. Okay, so... we're right here in a flight path for Love Field. We're in a very busy flight, but the planes that approach or take off, it depends. They revolve the runways. Like one day the planes will take off this way and land this way. And then the next day they'll take off this way and land this way. Anyway, when planes are landing or taking off, we are right in the path. So we get a lot of air traffic coming over us here where we live. There hasn't been a plane in about a half hour, so there is definitely a shutdown. What do we like to do? We like to check our little flight tracker, right? This would be a good time to see what's happening with Love Field. We haven't checked out. We haven't played with the flight tracker since... hold on. Where is it? All right, so here's the flight tracker. Okay. Let's check out what's happening here at Love Field. Okay. Nope. So I guess this is Love. This looks like a big... Okay. Hold on. Bear with me, folks. We're trying to get to the bottom of this. All right. So here we go. Let's see what's happening with the flights. Jeez. We'll get into the regular show. We'll do what we normally do. I just want to see if I can figure out what's happening here. All right. So here, this is Dallas Love. Let's move in. See, there is nothing. Okay, so there is nothing taking off or landing here at Dallas Love right now. Looks like, I mean, this is where usually there's a whole bunch of, stuff. What's this guy doing? This guy's probably going to DFW. No, he's going to San Antonio. How about this? This is okay, just a regular old helicopter. Another regular old helicopter. So yeah, there is nothing landing. There is nothing in the airspace over Love Field. So that is supposedly going to be shut down. No plane's going to be allowed to land at Love Field until at least 12:30, they're saying. All right, now let's see what we have as far as live video from Love Field. Let's get into that, shall we? Okay. Let me pull up Love Field Live and let's just scroll through some of these. Again, there's no details. No details that I have right now other than the terminals have been cleared. NBC5 Dallas just did a report where they gave no information other than shots have been fired and police are responding to an incident at Love Field. That's all we know. All right, let's see what this is. Looks like we got a video here. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Sorry, folks. All right, let's see what's happening here in this video. This appears to be inside one of the terminals at Love Field. Southwest is what I'm hearing. I mean, isn't that what everybody flies? Do they even have other airlines at Love Field? Okay, it looks like everybody is kind of just... All right, there you go. That's what we do now, right? That's just a part of the world. Let's see, what else? Do we have any other video from inside? Again, a lot of times they put up video that is not necessarily things that I would show. It's just in the moment of the breaking news. Like I saw a video earlier. Somebody was shot because there was blood spilled all over. All right, this more passengers being herded around there in Love Field. The entire airport is shut down at the moment. People seem to be behaving themselves, being orderly and whatnot. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Here, we'll just scroll through it and we'll see what people are saying and we'll learn about it in real time. All right. Love Field Airport has a ground stop. We'll just read these as we go through. Love Field Airport has a ground stop order in place. Incoming flights that arrived are not allowed to the gate. Love Field is blocked off. One ambulance has left and police are investigating this according to WFAA. Let's see what their latest story is here. Do we get their story? When I click on it, does it make it bigger? It does not. Okay, so here's the story. Rockwall Chief Max Guerin, a former Dallas police commander, tweeted at about 11:20 a.m. that he just got evacuated out of Love Field after an apparent shooting. One person was taken to a hospital after an officer-involved shooting inside the Dallas Love Field Airport in Dallas on Monday morning. Police officials and sources confirmed to WFAA. Police confirmed that around 11:30 a.m. they were responding to reports of shots fired inside the airport. Sources have since told WFAA that a female suspect had been shot and was being taken to a hospital. Okay, so that's new information. All right. Sources told WFAA that a female suspect has been shot and was being taken to a hospital. Now, um, you know, truthfully, I haven't flown since coronavirus. So it's been a couple of years since I have flown anywhere. Every place that I've gone in this country since 2019. Actually, I flew quite a bit in 2019. Yeah. So I haven't flown since 2021 and still haven't flown in 22. So I don't know what kind of changes have been done at airports in the coronavirus era. I've only picked people up and dropped people off from airports in the coronavirus era. So, but I mean, this has to be at the ticket counter, right? I mean, you can't get a gun into the gate area. This could not have been something that occurred at Love Field in the gate area. Otherwise, we've got a supreme breakdown in all of our defenses against anyone, trying to get a gun on a plane. So I'm imagining that this took place somewhere in the ticket lines at the ticket counters of Southwest Airlines. And it says here, according to FAA, sources are telling them that it was a woman suspect and that she has been shot. At least part of the airport was being evacuated during the incident on Monday morning. Rockwall Police Chief Max Guerin, a former Dallas Police Department commander, tweeted at 11:20 that he was just evacuated. Okay, we've covered all of that. Family is safe, Guerin tweeted. Video shared on social media in the wake of the reported shooting incident showed people crouching inside the airport and taking cover after apparently being told to run. Okay. Is this the thing we just saw? Yeah. Okay. So there's another piece of video here. It's the video that we had just seen. Okay. Here's another piece of video that FAA is sharing. So let's check that out. Let's see what this video is all about. Okay. Here we go. Seems to be people. Where is this? Well, this is like out on the tarmac. They got people out there on the tarmac. Okay, buffer. Yeah, okay, so this is, that looks to be, are those like those baggage trucks? Is that what that is? So people are out in that area? I guess you got to get people out. This is a breaking news story. Check back for more information as it develops. All right, well, let's watch the report. Let's see how the report
We have some breaking news out of Dallas Love Field. Here is a live picture right now where there is a report of shots fired at the airport. This is straight from Dallas Police. They are investigating. They'll update the media when more information becomes available. But again, that is a live look there at the front check-in counter. All the police cars out in front after the report of shots fired. So this is something we will be following. We want to get to some Twitter reaction right now. This is from Chief Max Guerin. He is the chief at Rockwall Police, and he said just got evacuated out of Love Field after an apparent shooting. Family is safe. TSA did a great job. So the chief of Rockwall Police apparently there at Love Field when all of this happened. And here's some pictures from the airport. Markland Kennedy says, well, that was weird. Certainly sounded like sounds of gunshots. We ran into the plane. Others ran out security doors onto the tarmac. And here is some video. You can see people down behind the seats there.
This video we saw.
And this person, Johnny Mojica, says, what just happened? A group of people were running and yelling, run. We all immediately took cover. Nothing has been communicated to us. Everything seems to be calm now. It was most certainly a scary experience. So this all happening just within the last few minutes. We've gotten words of these reported shots fired at Dallas Love Field, and you can see the scene there, right there at the terminal. Everybody's scared, ducked down, and again, here's a live look, a heavy police presence right there out front in that just beyond the parking garage there, kind of right where you pull up, where the arrivals and departures are. So this is something we will keep a track on. Again, we're waiting for police to update the media on what happened, but this is a developing story that we will update just as soon as information becomes available. We'll be right back with more Midday.
All right, well, there you have it. That's how WFAA is reporting it. JBM in the chat room says, I heard the woman was at ticket counter and started shooting. I mean, that's the only location of the airport where I could see this happening is at the ticket counter. And by the way, folks, because we're gonna move right here, we're gonna move into the regular show and watch how this develops. You guys in the chat room, I need you. I need you to help. Let's become one big aggregator here. If you guys see anything while I'm doing something else, post it in the chat room. And I promise today that I'll be extra diligent in checking the chat room just to make sure no, I don't miss anything. So if you guys see anything, if you're hearing, I don't want your gossip, just if you see something confirmed, if you hear something, it might help if you cite your source, like JBM, love JBM. She says, I heard a woman was at a ticket counter and started shooting. Okay. So I would ask, where'd you hear that? Like where did that come from? Did you see it did somebody tweet it? Or because let's see if we can put this together in real time. The police I'm looking for, see if there isn't some kind of a, police location set up, or if there is a time on the press conference. I'd like to try and get the press conference live if at all possible. Let's see. 1 minute ago, Marklin Kennedy. I don't know who Marklin Kennedy is. Marklin Kennedy is he's a blue check. Don't know what he does. Says SMU alum, SMU football letterman. Have mercy. I don't know. He's got a blue check. Marklin Kennedy. He is tweeting. He is tweeting that he has been moved out of the airport. Let's see. Yeah, Marklin Kennedy. Airport is evacuating. All people have been asked to line up and exit the airport. Okay, that was 1 minute ago. Let's see anything else. Someone is shooting at the airport. Someone just tweets. Okay, that doesn't really help us. Shots fired at Dallas Love Field. Chief Garcia, Dallas Police Chief. This comes from Stephen Dial of Fox 4 here in Dallas. This is within the last few minutes. Chief Garcia at 10:59. This happened at just before 11 a.m. this morning. At 10:59, 37-year-old woman was dropped off, goes into a bathroom, put on some sort of a hoodie. She produces a handgun and begins firing. She was aiming at the ceiling. An officer shot the woman and she was taken to the hospital. All right, now that is the most comprehensive bit of information that we have received so far as the story is developing right before our eyes. Chief Garcia of the Dallas Police Department says that at approximately 11 a.m., 10:59, he says specifically, a 37-year-old woman was dropped off at Love Field. She goes into a bathroom. She put on some sort of a hoodie, because, hoodies, that's what evil people wear. She put on some sort of a hoodie. She then produced a handgun and began firing. It says she was aiming at the ceiling. An officer shot the woman and she was taken to the hospital. Now, there was one video out there of blood on the floor. That blood, judging from what we've got now from Stephen Dial of Fox 4, that could be her blood. She might be the only victim. And knock wood, let's hope that's the case. Just a crazy person. I mean, is death by cop, right? I mean, this sounds to me like a good way if you want to go out. She's not aiming at other people. She's aiming at the ceiling. She knew that would elicit some kind of a response, and boom. Being reported that it was a female with two guns at Love Field now. Now they're saying two guns. Or at least someone is. Dallas Love Field, female shooter was yelling as we walked into the baggage check area. Shots were fired in the air. People began to take cover and run. Within minutes, Dallas PD handled the situation. All right, hold on. We'll see what this audio is. What is this? All right, here we got another piece of video. Let's see what this is. Bum, bum. Sorry, gang. Once again, a little bit sloppy here at the beginning. We're just trying to get a handle on what's what with our own little local story that is brewing over. Let me see if there's any other video. Okay, here's a piece of video. Let's see what this is all about. This is more video from inside Love Field. Okay. Not really seeing anything. Seems. What is that? Hold on. I don't like to show. All right, what is this? What's this over here? Do you see this? What are these people? Why everybody else seems to be although I don't know what this is. Are these people just laying on the ground because they're concerned, or does that look like a couple of am I crazy, or does that look like a couple of bodies? That does, right? I'm not nuts. That looks like, I mean, I don't think it's a suspect because there are police standing around. If it was a suspect, wouldn't there police near them with guns drawn and handcuffs or whatever? This just seems to be, I don't know what that seems to be. It looks like, I don't know. Okay, so let's get out of that. We don't need to see any more of that. JBM says on Smash the Topic, they were saying the same about you about women going into the bathroom. She was yelling something about her husband being fired. Okay, let's keep looking and seeing if we find anything else here about the Love Field. Again, we are covering a shooting that is being reported out of Love Field right here in Dallas. They're evacuating the whole airport. It's pandemonium up here. That's 42 seconds ago. See, it's interesting because maybe people on Twitter are just being a little bit performative and overly dramatic. But I mean, my God, you're in these situations. How are you supposed to react, right? I mean, we shouldn't be shocked. We shouldn't be. If any single one of us here, whether you're in the chat room, you're listening in another way, myself, anybody, we should not be shocked. Should we ever find ourselves in a situation where we hear guns being fired somewhere in our presence and everybody running? That seems to be something that's going to befall all of us at some point in our lives now. You know, I always say this. Not always say this. I've said it a couple of times. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, because I come from the 80s, back in the 80s, I remember people saying, in a few years, everybody is going to know somebody with AIDS, right? It was AIDS. Everybody was going to know somebody. Well, now it's everybody's going to know somebody who's involved in a mass shooting. I completely believe that. Whether I don't know how many degrees of separation we need to maybe establish a limit, but at some point, I think all of us are going to be touched in some way by some kind of a shooting, whether we're going to be at a carnival and somebody's going to open fire, or our cousin or our wife or our kid is going to be involved in something like this. It's the same thing. All right, Love Field. Let's see what the absolute latest is here. Hey, does anybody in the chat room, are you hearing anything about when the police press conference will be? Because I'd like to see what that's about. All right, looks like everybody is outside. I'm seeing more photos of people outside Love Field. Not a whole lot of commentary being offered as far as people who are creating videos. Let's see. There's a couple new videos. Let's see if we can check these out. Again, these are videos live from Love Field where there is reported to have been a shooting. Okay, let's see. Let's go here. There we are. Okay, calm exit. What is this? What's going on here? All right, this appears to be a police response. Just imagine this. You just get out of the airport. You're getting into your car. You're loading your stuff into the trunk of your friend's car, and all of a sudden, the entire force of the Dallas Police Department descends upon you. You got out of there just in time. All right. We don't need this now. Let's continue. Any other video coming to us from Love Field? Let's refresh one more time and see if there is any new video. All right, what is this guy doing? What's this? Maybe some narration. Nobody's giving us any narration here. I mean, it seems like everybody's pretty calm. There's not a lot of crazy people running, and people aren't being trampled, and it seems like maybe an isolated incident that happened in one part of the airport. We are, thank God, again, knock wood, we're not getting any kind of slow trickle of tidbits of information on Twitter about multiple people being injured. All we've got is a report of one ambulance leaving the scene and we've got a report of one person shot, and that person being the shooter themselves. So this might be all. I mean, it might be all right. I hate to say it might be all right, but you know what I mean. This might be. This might not be one of the big ones. What is this? Okay, that seems to be Spanish language. 7 minutes ago, 37-year-old woman dropped off a ticket counter. Woman went to the restroom. She put on a hoodie. Woman comes out, pulls out a handgun, starts firing at the ceiling. Officer shot the woman. She was rushed to the hospital. No other injuries being reported. This comes from, at least it's being cited as Fox 4 News. I mean, I don't know if that's really what Fox 4 News said. Anybody can tweet it and then say source Fox 4. It's up to you to actually go and see if Fox 4 actually said that. Happening now, officials hold briefing on shots fired at, okay, that was the last one. We missed that one. That was the one that was going on when we started. That was when Chief Garcia gave us the initial report. Here is that official report. Chief Garcia, 10:59, 37-year-old woman was dropped off. She goes into a bathroom, put on some sort of a hoodie. She produces a handgun and begins firing. She was aiming at the ceiling. An officer shot the woman, and she has been taken to the hospital. Okay. All right. That seems to be about where we are on this. I hate to do this because we did this with Uvalde. Uvalde happened right at the start of the show, and we moved away from Uvalde. We didn't follow it because it didn't seem like we were getting information that would lead us to, shelve the show that we had prepared and just go with this breaking news story. A couple hours pass. The show ends. I go into the other room. I start watching TV, and we start seeing reports of 13 dead kids in Uvalde. That was the original report, 13. A news station out of San Antonio put that out at about 3 o'clock. We had begun talking about Uvalde right at noon. So 3 hours later at 3 o'clock, they're saying 14. And I had completely forgotten about the story. I thought it was a nothing story. I thought it was just. So there is a bit of a concern that we do that again here, where we move off a story and it turns out to be something that we really should have been covering from the beginning. Dallas Love Field Airport has been placed on lockdown due to a possible shooting. Okay, well, we know it's a real shooting. We know it's not possible. Developing, Dallas police responding to report of shots fired inside Love Field. ABC News National. This is now a national ABC News, not the local. Developing, Dallas police responding to reports of shots fired at Love Field. A ground stop has been put in place at the airport. Okay. All right. So I think that's going to be good for us to move on. I think that's all we got. April says, Pugs, switch to your cell phone and go do a live stream at Love Field. Nah. There's too many. You can go out there and I'll patch you through. But yeah, I got my kid here. We got more football camp stuff today, so a full 2 o'clock show. I'm not sure we're going to get to, so we don't have the full time that we would normally today. April says I tagged you in the police chief statements. Well, thank you, April. JBM says Steve Noviella said only shooter was a woman. She was shot and she was taken to Parkland. Rick Workman says, hey, Pugs, it's Spike from Silver City. Apropos of nothing. Well, hiya, Spike. Welcome in, my guy. I've been seeing Rick's new. I've been seeing him in the chat room now for a while. April says she's in her office at Inwood and 35, but it's way too hot. Yeah, you're as close to Love Field as I am. I've been good, Rick. Rick says, how you been, buddy? I've been good, pal. But I'll tell you, now is not the time for a personal conversation. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in, Rick. It's always good to know. Spike from Silver City. Boy, those were the days, huh? Those were the days. Okay. All right, let's move into what the show is going to be, right? Let's just do the normal show. And then you guys, please update me. Update me if you see anything new that's coming out of Love Field, because I'm going to need you guys. Byron, the fuck is a Spike? Spike is a good dude. Let's see here. All right, let's get started. Today is the 25th day of the month of July, 25th day of July, year of our Lord 2022. It is the 206th day of the year. There are 159 more days remaining until the end of the year. Let's talk about all the things that make this day great. Let's get you prepped up, shall we? Okay. On this day in 1868, the Wyoming Territory is established. The Wyoming Territory became a thing on this day in 1868. And, Wyoming seems nice. You ever been? I don't know anybody that's ever been to Wyoming. You ever been to Wyoming? Wyoming is like the kind of place where, you know what? This might be good for, James Parker, who I do the Pillow Talk show with every night at 9:00. He has this theory. He has this little game that he likes to play. He calls it Rich Man, Poor Man, where he comes up with things that are situations or things that only rich men or poor men engage in. I'll give you a good example. Driver's license, right? Not having a driver, being driven around places. Both rich guys have this and poor guys have this. Rich guys get chauffeured everywhere, or Uber, or whatever it is, taxi cabs, whatever they need. And poor people use public transportation, buses and trains. Illegitimate children. Another thing that both rich men and poor men go through. That's another one, right? Rich guys, they got illegitimate children all over. Poor guys, they got illegitimate. So this is a little theory that James has, that there are a number of things that both rich men and very poor men have in common, and the middle does not. Wyoming is like that. Ever been to Wyoming? It's like only rich people have been to Wyoming, or really poor drifter types. That's seems to be the only people. The middle class does not go to Wyoming. Wyoming became a state. Not a state, a territory on this day in 1868. On this day in 1956, 45 miles south of Nantucket Island, the Italian ocean liner Andrea Doria collides with the MS Stockholm in heavy fog and sinks the next day, killing 51 people. I don't know why I mentioned it. It's just I've always heard of the Andrea Doria story, and I've never really thought much about it. And then I saw it. Here it is. It popped up. I thought it was worthy of mentioning. On this day in 1961, during the Cold War, in a speech, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, President of the United States, emphasizes that any attack on Berlin is an attack on NATO. This is the famous speech at the Wall where John F. Kennedy got up in front of all of these people in West Germany and proclaimed, "Ich bin ein Berliner." This is the famous Kennedy, "Ich bin ein Berliner," where he intended to say, "I am a Berliner," or "I am you, I am Berlin, we are Berlin," whatever it was he was trying to say. What he accidentally ended up saying was, "I am a jelly donut." He pronounced it wrong. The famous "Ich bin ein Jelly Donut" speech. On this day in 1965, Bob Dylan goes electric at the Newport Folk Festival, signaling a major change in folk music and the rock music to come. This was a big, now, if you're a music freak, any of you music guys, this is a major, the day the music died. No, screw that. The day Bob Dylan went electric at the Newport Jazz Festival is a day in American music history. It's a day in American cultural history that changed everything. Bob Dylan was this beloved folk singer, and with his guitar and his all acoustic and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, all these people show up to see him at the Newport Jazz Festival. They want to hear him do his little folk ditties on his acoustic guitar. And Bob Dylan plugs in and goes electric. Oh, did they hate him? They hated him, but he would not be stopped. He continued that, and he went on, and he became an electric artist. And it changed the way folk music was perceived by the mainstream, because suddenly pulp. This is why the folk people hated it, because it seemed to be an attempt by Dylan to make folk music more successful. Certainly within the growing rock charts and, the pop music charts, folk had always been sort of a sideline genre. And Bob Dylan plugging in, it was seen as a betrayal. How dare you betray the folk movement like this? But ultimately, there's a whole lot of bands. Bob Dylan kicked in the door of electric folk, and a whole bunch of people came behind him. People like the Byrds, people like, the Byrds. There were a lot. There was a whole movement, but I just can't really explain anymore. On this day in 1976, the Viking program, Viking 1, takes the famous Face on Mars photo. You know the face on Mars photo? Here, we'll show it to you. See if I can pull this up. Viking 1 took a picture of Mars, and they brought it back to Earth, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, hey, there's a face of a guy on Mars. Hold on, where is it? Where's a good one? I gotta see a really good one of it. I don't know what it is. I don't care what it is, but it does look like the Iron Giant. Okay, you know, like the Iron Giant. You ever seen the Iron Giant? That's what it looks like. It looks like the Iron Giant's head is on Mars. Can you guys even see that, or is that too small? There you have it. Yeah, it's too small. Sorry. Thank Wikipedia for that BS. All right, moving on. The face on Mars was first taken by Viking 1. On this day in 1978, the birth of Louise Joy Brown. Today is Louise Joy Brown's birthday. Who was Louise Joy Brown? Whoa, she was like the biggest baby born ever. Not biggest, not like size-wise. In fact, she was kind of small. She was only 5 pounds. She was the first. This phrase isn't even used anymore. It's not even used. We haven't used this phrase in probably 25, 30 years. But Louise was the first ever, are you ready? Test tube baby. You remember that word? Remember that phrase, test tube baby? Oh, they got test tube babies. They're making babies in labs now. They don't even need women. Well, of course they do. In vitro fertilization is kind of the common generic name that we call it now. But back then it was test tube baby. A guy just jizzed in a test tube and then they stuffed an egg in there and shook it up and a baby came. That's pretty much how we understood it back in 1970. I was like 8, 9 years old. That's how I understood it anyway. Just a test tube. They just made a baby in a test tube and it grew kind of like a muffin in the oven. It just, on this day in 2000. Oh, by the way, Louise Joy Brown, we should figure out. She's still alive. She's still alive. She's doing good. Let's see what's happening with Louise Joy Brown, the first test tube baby who was born on this day in 1978. Louise Joy Brown, she's an English woman who was the first human to have been born after conception by in vitro fertilization. Her birth, following a procedure pioneered in Britain, has been lauded among the most remarkable medical breakthroughs of the 20th century. Yeah, man, if what did they used to say about women? Oh, she's barren. She's barren. The Lord has cursed her womb. You know, that whole thing. That's, you couldn't have a baby. If you barren, if you're unable to, I guess the egg is fertilized, but if you're unable to sort of mature or matriculate the fertilized egg through the process, you couldn't have kids. And for tens of thousands of years, that was the deal. And then here comes Louise Brown, first test tube baby. What's she doing? What's she doing now? Let's see what's happening with her now. What's her life all about? How old is she, first of all? She's 44 years old today. The first test tube baby lady born 44 years ago today. She's married. She's married to a guy named Wesley Mullender. In 2004, Brown married nightclub doorman Wesley Mullender. That's okay. She married him in 2004. So she was what? She was 24, 20. She was 26. She married a doorman. That's fine. Their first son, conceived naturally, was born on December 20th, 2006. Brown's father, her dad, and her mother both died. Okay. There you go. All right. So happy birthday to you. The first test tube baby lady born on this day in the year 1978. In the year 2000, the Concorde Air France flight 4590 crashed on this day at Paris de Gaulle Airport, killing 113 people. Boy, I remember that. I was always a big Concorde fan. I always had it in my head that I'm going to fly on the Concorde someday. Yeah, that never happened. You know what else? Hardly anybody flew on the Concorde. Do you remember the Concorde? Boy, when I was a kid, like in the 80s, not in the 80s, like in the 70s, really. We'll go all the way back to the 70s for this. Here were the things that were always on TV. The movies on TV were always about a couple of subjects. One, a subject I didn't care about, which was always about, like the husband murdered the wife or whatever. That was something for my mom. But as a kid, the TV movies in the 70s that I always liked concerned killer bees. There were always movies about killer bees or some kind of air disaster. And one of my favorite air disasters films from the 1970s was something called SST. I don't know if any of you remember what SST, but SST was supersonic transport. It was a Concorde. Basically, they couldn't call it a Concorde because the Concorde was brand new, and they didn't want to make a movie about a brand new product that kills a whole bunch of people. But SST was awesome. Ever since seeing that, I always wanted to be on the Concorde. And on this day, the Concorde program, is it a program? I don't know. I think it was a joint venture between the French aviation companies and the British aviation companies, right? There was only one. There was like a British Airways Concorde, and I think there was like an Air France Concorde. Anyway, it was on this day that the Concorde was taking off and something fell off. The video of it is incredible. The video is out there. You can see it. I remember when it happened live. I remember sitting there watching it on the news play out. And then when they released the video, it was like, woo, so everybody dies. Concorde tries to take off. It scrapes the runway. There's an explosion. It takes off for a minute, and then it just, does what terrible plane crashes do. The interesting thing about that is a week before the Concorde crashed on this runway, the U2 song Beautiful Day? It's a beautiful day, a big U2 hit. The video for that was filmed right on the runway where the Concorde would crash a week later. So when you see the video for U2's A Beautiful Day, they're on a runway in an airport, and their planes are taking off and all that stuff. It essentially ended the Concorde program. The crash, nobody was flying it. The problem with the Concorde, as I understand, well, there were a lot of problems with the Concorde. It was really fast. I mean, it could get you across the Atlantic in the blink of an eye, which is really nice because people who need to travel between, the United States and Europe, one of the big issues is that's a 6-hour flight. So if you can cut that down to an hour, I don't know what the flight was on the Concorde, but I do know it was really fast. But the problem was, I guess the Concorde could only land at certain airports in America, and they had to be on the East Coast and they had to be on the West Coast, or I believe there was something about the approach to the runway within 10 miles had to be over water, because the Concorde, when it would land, it would produce sonic booms, and people who lived around airports didn't want to deal with people who wanted to be heard for no other reason than they are never heard. Nobody ever listens to them. Nobody cares. But, they live near an airport, and, they're going to bring Concordes in. Those things are going to make booms, and that's going to irritate me. So now I have a cause, and that's why Concordes were never able to land in places like Chicago, Dallas, or Ohio, or any of the real places in America that would have made that Concorde plane ticket a successful venture. They were limited to the East Coast and the West Coast. So it's like, nobody wants to fly the Concorde. They got to bring that back. They got to bring back some sort of supersonic air travel, because we can do it. We've mastered it. All of our fighter jets have it. All of our military planes are supersonic. There is no reason why we can't get people from New York City to London in under 5 hours. There's no reason we can't do that these days. So it was on this day. Air France flight 4590 crashes at de Gaulle Airport, killing all 113 people. And that ended the Concorde. I don't know. I guess, I don't know how many Concorde planes there were. I know that they were operated by Air France and British Airways, or whatever the British official airline. I don't know. But I don't know, were there 30 Concorde planes? Did one have 15 and the other? Or were there just two and one of them crashed? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't care, though. I'm not gonna get bogged down that much in it. Let's talk about some birthdays. Celebrate some birthdays on this day. Who was born on this day? Born on this day in 1923. Thank you for being a friend. I said this just the other day. Estelle Getty is celebrating her birthday today. She was born in 1923. She died a couple of days before her birthday, because we just talked about Estelle Getty in the deaths, commemorating the deaths. I believe it was on the 22nd. Estelle Getty died, and on the 25th was her birthday. So again, born on this day, Golden Girl, Estelle Getty. Born on this day in 1925, Jerry Paris, American actor and director. Do you know who Jerry Paris is? Jerry Paris is a name. If you grew up watching 70s and 80s television, you saw Jerry Paris's name just about on every TV show. He directed everything. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Morgan. It doesn't matter. Directed by Jerry Paris. Jerry Paris was Jerry Helper from the Dick Van Dyke Show. Remember the Dick Van Dyke Show? Remember Jerry and Millie, the helpers? They lived next door. They were always just barging in. the pop-in. Pop-in apparently very big in the early 60s. I don't do the pop-in today. I would never pop in on you, so I don't expect you to pop in on me. We have texting. There is no reason that you can't give somebody at least a 15-minute heads up. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Was thinking about stopping by. Do that minimum 15 minutes. Give the dude a minimum 15 minutes. You don't just pop in on people, invading their privacy. I know I'm weird. I'm an only child. I like my privacy. I don't want people just showing up. Also, born on this day, Verdine White, American bass player and producer. Verdine White, man, that guy could play some bass. But Verdine White, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You want to discover a band that maybe you've never discovered that you can treat like a brand new band that you're hearing for the first time? Because let me tell you, Earth, Wind, and Fire had about 4 hits, but they've got about 50 bangers. They got Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you're just having a party and you need to just put something on just to keep the vibe going, just slap on Earth, Wind, and Fire's greatest hits. Love Earth, Wind, and Fire. Happy birthday to you, Verdine White, bass player, leader, co-founder. Born on this day in 1954, the greatest football player ever to put on pads. That's right. I said greatest football player. I didn't say greatest quarterback. I didn't say greatest receiver. I didn't say greatest running back. I didn't say greatest linebacker. I didn't say greatest corner. I said greatest football player. Happy birthday to you, sweetness. Born on this day in 1954, Walter Payton, American football player. And I love it. It's so cute. It says, and race car driver. Walter fancied himself a race car driver. Yeah, kiddo, I'm talking about Walter Payton. What? Oh, they are? Yeah, oh, very good. Very good. Did you say hi? Yeah. Is everybody over there? Okay. All right, there you go. My kid, we got to get out of here. We got kid stuff that we got to do. Not now. Like, we're not leaving right now. We're going to run through some more stuff here. Happy birthday, Walter Payton. Happy birthday, Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth. Thurston Moore was an icon of that era of music. Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth never really had hits. I don't know how commercially successful Sonic Youth was, like in terms of, I mean, we know that like Eddie Vedder, very commercially successful. We know that the guys in Nirvana, very commercially successful. Soundgarden as well. There are a number of bands that you go, yeah, okay, those dudes at 50, those guys at 55, they're probably doing well based off of the albums that they sold and the success that they had when they were 25. I don't know how Thurston Moore is doing. I have to wonder about that. Thurston Moore, born in 1958, so he's in his mid 60s now. I hope he's doing all right. He's probably, I mean, like, is Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth? Does he have enough money that like he can have a nice condo and maybe a car that's in warranty? You know what I mean? Like, is he comfortable? Because obviously he's not doing an office job. He's just being Thurston Moore, former, icon of the grunge movement. But I wonder how much money he actually has now. Like, how did he do? Because they didn't do Pearl Jam numbers. They didn't do those kinds of numbers. But I suppose Sonic Youth, like, he could still probably play a show every weekend, right? If he just wanted to get up and do a show, he could probably tour and do a show every weekend. He could probably make $10,000 minimum a weekend. He's got ways to make money if he milks it. Born on this day in 1967, Matt LeBlanc, American actor and producer. Matt LeBlanc draft. All right, we're going to do a Matt LeBlanc draft. Of course, Joey from Friends with the first pick, Joey from Friends. With the second pick, Joey from Joey. With the third pick, that's pretty much it, right? What else has Matt LeBlanc done? I'll tell you what else Matt LeBlanc has done. If you really want to appreciate Matt LeBlanc, all kidding aside, he did a show for Showtime that was called Episodes. And it ran a couple of years back. And the premise of the show Episodes was that 2 British television creators, 2 people who created a show in England that became a big hit in England, are brought to America to adapt their smash hit English show. We've seen this before, like with The Office and shows like that. So it's a premise that happens. English people are brought to America to adapt their hit British shows for American audiences. Episodes is that story. 2 British television writers come to America. They're wined and dined by Hollywood. Their show is artistic. It won all kinds of awards. It's brilliant. And it comes to Hollywood, and the Hollywood studio that adapts it turns it into the dumbest freaking show ever. Like, really. And that show, the American version of the show, stars Matt LeBlanc. So Matt LeBlanc in Episodes plays Matt LeBlanc playing a fictionalized version of what Matt LeBlanc is like in real life. Very funny show. If you're looking for something to binge, it's a really, really funny show that nobody knows about. It's called Episodes, and I think it's available on Showtime, or it's possibly also available, Hulu or something like that. You can look for it. It's Episodes. Really good show. Love that show. All right, some deaths today. Actually, we're only going to talk about one death. Yeah. Okay. So we're only going to do the one death here today because honestly, there's not a whole bunch of people there. John Schlesinger died on this day in 2003. John Schlesinger was a director, a film director. He was very big in the 1970s, made really, really cool movies. Give you an example of some of the movies that we could do a John Schlesinger draft, but I don't really want to because we don't have all that much time today. Here's his filmography. Okay, so here are some of the movies that John Schlesinger directed. Far from the Maddening Crowd, 1967, classic. Midnight Cowboy, 1969, classic. Sunday Bloody Sunday, 1971. Sunday Bloody Sunday, that's where that's the attack at the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl where they crashed the blimp into the Super Bowl. That's awesome. Sunday Bloody Sunday, classic, 71. Day of the Locust, classic, 75. Marathon Man, classic, 76. Falcon and the Snowman, love that movie, 1985. True Believers, Martin Sheen, very creepy movie, 1987. Pacific Heights, 1990. Cold Comfort Farm, 95. I mean, this guy, John Schlesinger, he has quite the resume. If we were going to do a draft, okay, John Schlesinger, quick draft. I'm going to eyeball it. All right, what's the best thing he's done? Marathon Man. I'm going to go with Marathon Man with the first pick. I'm going to go with Midnight Cowboy with the second pick. I'm going to go with Sunday Bloody Sunday with the third pick. I'm going to go with Falcon and the Snowman as the fourth pick. And I am going to go with The Believers as the fifth pick. Pacific Heights, Cold Comfort Farm, and Far from the Maddening Crowd. They're going to get some invites into camp. See, look, we ended up doing a John Schlesinger draft anyway. On the anniversary of his passing. John Schlesinger died on this day in 2003. Great 70s and 80s film director. All right, let's get into some of the stuff that is trending here. Again, we're going to run through these really quickly because don't have a lot of time. I've got kid obligations. But it's like we'll give you a full show. Don't you worry about a thing. Elon Musk and Sergey Brin are trending today. Did you see this? You know why they're trending? Apparently, here's the charge. The charge that's being put, well, I'll just read it to you. Sergey Brin, who is the founder of Google, Sergey Brin and Larry Page founded Google, and Elon Musk have been friends for quite some time. They do as billionaires do. They do billionaire things together. I don't know. Eat endangered species, hunt humans together on secluded jungle islands. I have no idea what they do. But apparently Elon Musk and Sergey Brin have been friends for a very long time. And Sergey Brin and his wife, Nicole Shanahan, who is a now you're gonna see pictures of this woman in question here as the story develops and percolates. Nicole Shanahan is the wife of Sergey Brin. She is a okay. So if you're the richest guy in the world, she's not hot enough for the richest guy in the world, dude. When you can basically shoot your shot with anyone because of the position that your wealth grants you, when you can just, like, Elon Musk has no business flirting with a supermodel, but because he's Elon Musk, he can totally flirt with a supermodel. And he'll probably get some reciprocal action from him. This Nicole Shanahan is quite a woman. She grew up in abject poverty. This is the wife of Sergey Brin, grew up in poverty. She has a father who was bipolar and schizophrenic her whole life growing up. Her mother they were on food stamps. They were homeless. She put herself through school. She became a big time attorney in the San Francisco Bay Area. Really an impressive woman. This Nicole Shanahan is an impressive woman. And then she married Sergey Brin. And they start going through a divorce. Apparently, the divorce, Sergey Brin is divorcing her. He is saying that it was just being cooped up together during the pandemic. That's the reason. I imagine that's the reason for a lot of divorces over the last couple of years. However, it has been revealed over the weekend that the real reason why Sergey Brin and Nicole Shanahan are breaking up is because Elon Musk had an affair with his friend's wife back in December of 2021. Sergey Brin found out about it, and oh my God, Elon Musk is laughing off wild reports that he had a friendship ruining affair with Google co founder Sergey Brin's wife. Musk, 51, insisted the claims of a fling with his bestie's estranged wife, Nicole Shanahan, were total BS, even quipping, "I haven't had sex in ages. Sigh." Elon Musk claims he hasn't had sex since the pandemic. Okay. All right. Look, Elon Musk is weird. That could very well be true, right? Unlike me, I haven't had sex since the pandemic because I haven't met anybody. I haven't seen anybody. I haven't been in a position where I could even, flirt with anybody since the pandemic. But Musk is out. Musk is traveling. He's got his own jets. He's meeting people. He's hanging out. He's having drinks. He's going to parties. He's doing all this stuff. So for Elon Musk to say that he hasn't had sex since the pandemic, that's interesting. The world's richest man also sent the New York Post a photo showing him partying with Brin, 48, who was supposed to have cooled their bromance after the alleged betrayal. Yeah, so here's one of the things. So the story comes out on Sunday. I believe it was the Wall Street Journal that first broke the story about Elon Musk supposedly having an affair with Google founder Sergey Brin's wife, Nicole. And that was on Sunday. And then in response to this, the supposed, Sergey Brin and Elon Musk aren't talking anymore. They aren't friends. In response to this, Elon Musk posted a picture that he said came from the night before. So Elon Musk posted a picture of him at a party and Sergey Brin is there. And Elon Musk says, "What do you mean we're not friends anymore? Here's a picture from just last night." Let me see if we'll break down this picture and see if it's proof of friendship. Here it is. Okay. So here, this is the picture that Elon Musk is hold on a second. Elon Musk is sending this as proof that this cannot be true because he and Sergey Brin are still best buddies. Let's see how this plays. I mean, it is a picture of Elon Musk and Sergey Brin. They are together. I will give them that. All right. Here we go. So Elon puts this out. "See, we're still friends. We're buddies. We were just partying at a place last night." Okay, so there you see the two people you can see are Elon Musk and Sergey Brin. You know who Elon Musk is. Sergey Brin's kind of got he's in the background. He's wearing the red shirt with the black shoulders or the gray shoulders. That is not proof of friendship to me. This is proof that they were both in the same room, but it's not proof that they're not hanging out. It looks like maybe Elon Musk is taking a picture. Maybe Sergey Brin looks like maybe he's coming to the bar for a refill, and he's certainly not engaging with Elon Musk in this moment. This is not proof that they're friends. This is proof that billionaires swim in the same circles. That's all that is. All right, but we shall continue. Nicole and Sergey's divorce has absolutely nothing to do with me, Musk insisted. I am sure both Nicole and Sergey would confirm that I spoke with both them about this, and they say the story isn't coming from them. So it must be a case of broken telephone, 2 or 3 layers removed. Okay, let's take a look at the woman who is supposedly the object of all this. Here's a beautiful picture of Nicole Shanahan and Sergey Brin in happier times. Look at him. Man, she is all that I like. She's a lawyer. Look at her. She's tall. I don't know if she's tall because she's in heels and Sergey Brin is small, but I don't know how tall Sergey Brin is. Got to find out how tall the Google founder is. But yeah, she is a beautiful woman. She is a smart woman. She is a self-made woman. Ooh, I could see why these billionaires might be all about that. All right, so that's why Elon Musk and Sergey Brin are both trending today, because there are rumors that Elon got into it. First of all, this would have happened just after Elon ended his relationship with Grimes. Now, if you've ever seen Grimes, the electronic music person from Canada, she's a girl. She makes music. I'm not all that familiar with her, but apparently critically acclaimed. People think she's great. Not a lot of commercial success, but critical acclaim for sure. When you look at Grimes and then you look at that woman, they're two totally different kinds of girls. If Brady Morris says Sergey Brin is 5'8", all right, so he is little. So she's probably got 3-inch heels. She's about 2 inches tall. She's probably 5'7". She's probably tall. She's probably a tall drink of water. Anyway, my point is that based on the women that he has dated in the past, Grimes, you look at Grimes and you go, oh, that's what he's into. And then you look at Nicole Shanahan and you're like, yeah, that's not the same thing. I don't know, the same guy, although he's a weird guy. So let's move on. Peck Park is trending. Peck Park is trending with San Pedro. This is something that happened last night. There was a shooting at a car show in San Pedro, California, which is, well, it's on the ocean. It's over by Huntington Beach. It's south. So what would that be? That'd be like southwest, I suppose, of Los Angeles. It's south of LA International Airport. So there was a car show that was occurring last night in San Pedro, and somebody came by and started shooting. Here's something interesting about it, though, because I was watching it unfold last night in real time, trying to determine whether or not this was a situation where I needed to stream a breaking news shooting event. Last night, probably 7, 8 o'clock at night, I'm watching this all go down. And almost immediately, the reports from Peck Park in San Pedro, California, where multiple people had been shot, and I believe there's 2 that have died, almost immediately, they said that it was not an active shooting situation. So here's what we know. When these things happen and they do not have a shooter in custody, okay, like whether it's a school shooting or a mall shooting or whatever, or just what we're experiencing right now in real time at Love Field. When it is one of these kinds of shootings and they do not have the shooter, they consider it an active shooting. If a guy walks in, shoots a bunch of people and disappears, the police ask everybody to shelter in place. We're on lockdown. We don't have them. Now that changes when they shoot and kill them, right? So if there's an active shooting and they've shot and killed the guy, then they won't call it an active shooting situation. They'll call it a resolved situation or whatever the terminology is. Last night at Peck Park, they made a point in the early goings to say that this was not an active shooting incident. And so I thought, oh, the guy must be dead. And then I start reading reports. I start following the LA County streams. And I start hearing reports that there is an active manhunt for the shooter. So it's not an active shooting situation at Peck Park in San Pedro. But when this happens at a mall and the guy disappears, it's an active shooting situation, and we all got to be worried because this guy could be out there doing. And I was, what is the difference? What is the difference? And then I was reminded of how I compartmentalize these things. I compartmentalize these kinds of shooting situations in 2 categories. One, crazy dude that just shows up looking to kill people for whatever reason because he's crazy. I'm going to kill children. I'm going to kill old ladies. I'm going to kill all of this kind of thing. That's one compartment. That's the scary one. That one freaks me out. The other compartment for these shootings that I always try and evaluate as they're unfolding in the early stages, is it one of those where it's crazy person, like whatever, name them all the ones that have happened recently. Crazy, is it a crazy person thing? Or is this a mass shooting because somebody was driving down the street and they saw a guy in another gang who, I'm going to get that guy. And it turns into like a gang. It turns into that, right? So what was the difference here? Well, it turned out very quickly. I realized that San Pedro and Peck Park is not a white suburb. It's not a lily white. It's a minority suburb with some low income stuff, a lot of currency exchanges and liquor stores on the corners, stuff like that. So when this shooting occurred and the person got away, the police were like, that's just not an active shooter. But if this was in a white neighborhood and this was in the suburbs and the active shooting happened and the person got away, the cops have been like, active shooting. We've closed down all the roads. Nobody's getting in and out of this county. I mean, it's a different kind of, even the police, it seems now, do what I do. They compartmentalize it. Is this just crime being done by criminals against people that they perceive to be other criminals? Or is this the Highland Park, Illinois 4th of July shooting? Is this the Uvalde? Is this something else? So this one, the Peck Park San Pedro situation, quickly turned out to be some kind of just crime, just crime on crime. And so it was like, no big deal. These people and what they do to each other. But I'm telling you, if this were to happen in a nice white middle-class suburbs, they'd have closed the airports. We got an active shooter. We're going live with CNN. There's, it's like I always say, I go, you can kill 5 teenagers in front of a liquor store in Harlem, in New York, and the news won't even blink. You kill one soccer mom in a suburb on her way into a Starbucks, and all of a sudden, Anderson Cooper is standing from the parking lot of your Starbucks or whatever. They're bringing in all of it. So everybody looks at it in these two ways. I don't know if it's a good way to look at it. What? The lives of minorities don't count as much? And that's not it. That's not it for me. It's not that they don't count as much. It's just it's a situation where you go, well, yeah, that's a neighborhood where bad things. It's like we are almost conditioned to not be surprised by terrible things when they occur to poor people. Terrible things happen. Well, it's when they happen to those who feel they've escaped that. People who have moved to the suburbs, the safety, the white picket fence, that whole thing. Those are the ones we get really upset about. Peck Park and San Pedro quickly turned into just crime on crime, and that's why it's trending right now. WWE is trending. WWE is trending in conjunction with Vince McMahon and Triple H. Vince McMahon, the embattled chairman of WWE, president of WWE Wrestling, the guy probably most important to the rise in the power of wrestling here in America and worldwide for that matter. He has stepped down. He is retiring. Vince McMahon is retiring as the head of the WWE. This comes after months and months of scandals about how he spent money to shut up secretaries, the banging, all this kind of, he had all kinds of like weird, sexy time stuff going on. And finally, the way they resolved it in the Me Too era is that at 77 years old, Vince McMahon has stepped away. He said, I am retiring. I am done. He has named 2 people to be his replacement. His daughter, Stephanie McMahon, will be the new co-president of WWE. And then some other guy named Khan, who was brought over by CAA, which is a creative artists agency, which is a big celebrity agency there in Los Angeles. They do a lot of TV stuff. So the new president is a TV guy, a guy who does TV. And let's go down with my TV. What's happening here? Do we have a live? Is this the latest? Hold on, 6 minutes ago. All right. Someone has, Ed, my guy Ed, has taken over my computer and he has pulled something up. I'm guessing. Ed, if you're intending for me to watch this, just go ahead and click it. Just go. I'll stop. I don't know what you're intending for me to do here. All right, we're gonna take a quick little deviation from what we're doing. We're gonna watch that because Ed put the work in. So, all right, this seems to be a press conference from Love Field. There we are. Where's my sound? There we go.
Might they change? They probably will. We're going to tell you the facts as we know it to this point. Not only might they change, they probably will as we look into this investigation even further. But I'm going to tell you what I know at the current time.
All right, so here's the earlier press conference.
We will not be taking any questions until
from the Love Field shooting.
All the facts of the case.
It's happening right now.
But today, this morning, at about 10:59, a 37-year-old woman gets dropped off, goes inside near the ticket counters in front of Southwest, goes at one point into a restroom, exits the restroom. Now she's either put some sort of hoodie on or some other different type of clothing that she had when she walked in. At some point, simultaneously, one of our officers is in the area. She produces a handgun and begins firing. At this point, we don't know where exactly the individual was aiming. For most of what we're seeing now, she was aiming at the ceiling. But there was several rounds that are found. Simultaneously, as she's doing that, our officer engages the suspect, strikes her in the lower extremities. She's taken into custody and is currently at Parkland Hospital. No other individuals were injured in this event other than the suspect, who again is at Parkland. That's all we have right now, but we wanted to ensure that our community knows that this is not an active situation. We want to make sure our community knows that there are no other passengers, family members, or people in the airport that have been that are victims, and that's what we're getting at this time. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, there we have it. So that's very good news. It doesn't seem like anybody else was injured. It seems like the only person, according to Chief Garcia there, the Dallas Police Department, that was injured was the suspect, the person doing that. All right, let's take a quick look at FlightAware. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, okay. It looks like they're still at a full ground stop at Love Field. I mean, look. Hold on. Is this okay? Planes are landing. Okay, you can see here. We'll just compare it here. All right, so this is DFW. You can see planes are landing and lining up. We got planes taking off from DFW. So DFW is operating. Love Field right here. There ain't nothing going on here. This is all shut off. So it was supposed to be shut down. Love Field, they set a complete ground stop until 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It appears that they are still in a complete stop, as there is nothing happening at Love Field at the moment. I'll let you know the minute I hear a plane go over. But this has been the quiet it's been since I've lived here in, a little over a year now. Usually we have planes just ripping across the sky at all times, making their approach. All right, we get rid of the Martian face. All right. So Vince McMahon is out. Stephanie McMahon is in. She is co-president of WWE now with a television guy, a guy who came from an agency. And Triple H is also trending because Triple H has been brought back in. Triple H is now in charge of all creative for the WWE. It's something Vince McMahon used to do, coming up with the storylines, deciding who's going to... Probably the most important person in the WWE, I would think, would be the guy who's in charge of all the creative. And that is now Triple H. That's why Vince McMahon, WWE, and Triple H are all trending. Sodom and Gomorrah is trending. Sodom and Gomorrah is trending. Look, there's a number of things trending today. The Russian troll bots on Mondays are very busy, especially early. They get stuff trending early in the week. Here's examples of the Russian troll bots. Sodom and Gomorrah is trending. Ashley Babbitt is trending. Satanic Panic is trending. Recession is trending. And how do you know they're troll bots? Because when you start clicking on the ones that are... because they've always just joined Twitter or just joined Twitter during just before the election, the last election a year ago. You can always look at that. They have very few followers. The troll bots have very few followers, and a lot of times they don't even have like a picture or a name or anything. It's just like numbers, like proud American X1, stuff like that, stupid shit like that. Natalie Dyer is trending. And this is. Are you a Stranger Things fans? Like I said, I watched the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things and I never got back on it. It's not to say that it's not a good show. I'm just simply saying that I personally have fallen off the Stranger Things bandwagon. But Natalie Dyer, who plays, who does she play? I don't even know her name. Natalie Dyer is like the All-American Girl Next Door. She's one of the older teenagers. Wasn't she, like in season 1, she was dating Steve Harrington? Steve Harrington, I know, because Steve Harrington's cool. She was dating Steve Harrington. Anyway, beautiful, girl next door type girl. Young actress. Seems very nice, she doesn't... Well, she's trending because some plastic surgery lady, who, by the way, this plastic surgery lady, she's got a serious Gal Gadot look. You know Gal Gadot from Wonder Woman? This plastic surgeon lady is really, really attractive. A plastic surgery lady made a TikTok video where she basically says all of the things that she would do to Natalie Dyer or Urza Dreyer. Actually, that's not a good question. Is it Dyer or Dryer? Which is trending? You should know because one of these things is trending. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I'm going to show you the TikTok now, and this is why it's trending, because this plastic surgeon made a TikTok video where she put up a big picture of Natalie. Wait, it's driving me nuts now. What is her name? Is it Dryer or Dyer? Okay, it's Dyer. Natalie Dyer. Here we go. All right, let's watch the TikTok, shall we? These are all of the things that this plastic surgeon would do to Natalie Dyer, who is like a 23, I don't know what she is. She's a kid. She plays a kid on the show. She's probably in her early 20s. She doesn't need plastic surgery. Look at her. Okay, first of all, look at the plastic surgeon in the bottom right. Doesn't she kind of look like Wonder Woman? To me, she looks like Gal Gadot. Yeah, okay. The plastic surgeon, for my dollar, is a better looking woman than Natalie Dyer, but they're both beautiful. She is beautiful. Look at Natalie Dyer. She's 20-something years old. She doesn't need plastic surgery. Yet this person's like, here's what I would do. All right, let's look at all of the stuff that they would do to this beautiful 20-something-year-old girl.
All right, guys, let's talk about Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things. First of all, she killed it in Stranger Things, and if you don't like Stranger Things, we cannot be friends. So, if I was Natalia's injector, this is what I would do. We'd start by treating those masseters, and we all know how much...
Okay, so first she's going to get rid of these adorable little jaw things that are basically her entire face personality. Why is she getting rid of that? That's why she's cute. She's adorable. She's got cheekies.
I love treating masseters to help slim the face. Next, I would actually add a little bit of chin filler just to help fill out her chin.
What's wrong with her chin? Her chin... This is a beautiful young girl. She's a Hollywood celebrity. She doesn't need a whole lot of work.
And make her whole face more of like a heart-shaped. Next, I would add a little bit to the lips. Just a little bit, nothing crazy, just a nice pout.
Okay, so that I kind of get. She does have small lips, but she's fine. She's beautiful.
And then we'd get in there and do a little bit of Botox. I'd give her a nice brow lift to help open up her eyes.
Brow lift?
And
she's
to top it off,
23.
we'd start working with some Sculptra. She does seem to have more thin skin, and we want to prevent that from getting thinner and create more collagen. All right, let's see what the final product would give us. Ta-da! All right, it would give us. Ta-da! All right, it would give.
Okay, so let's do this, right? Okay, so this is what she looks like in real life. So after all of this work, this is what she looks like now.
Yes.
We go back and forth?
It would give us. Ta-da! All right.
Back and forth. Do it again.
Yes. Ta-da! Yes. Ta-da! Yes. Ta-da! Yes. Ta-da! Yes. Ta-da!
I mean,
yes.
I guess.
All right. How do we yes? Ta-da! All right. Yes. Ta-da! Yes. Ta-da!
That's why Natalie Dyer is trending. People are destroying this plastic surgeon. How dare you? She's a beautiful young woman. Leave her alone. Kevin Durant is trending. Kevin Durant of the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets. Adrian Wojciechowski, who seems to know this stuff, he is tweeting that as Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant's trade request approaches its fourth week, the Boston Celtics has emerged as a team engaged in talks on a possible deal. You know, this Nets thing, they were Kyrie gone, Durant gone. None of these guys are gone yet. They might field the entire, well, with the exception of Harden, when I guess they got Simmons now. I don't know. Kevin Durant with the Celtics, fine. You know, that would certainly be a good move for the Celtics. Trade, allowing him to go with it. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. If I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I don't trade him to the Boston Celtics. Maybe the Utah Jazz, maybe somebody trade him out of the division, or the conference. The XFL is trending. How excited are we for the XFL? Not at all. Yeah, me neither. The XFL is trending because they have announced, hey, by the way, didn't the USFL, their season just ended last week, right? Anybody notice? I think I watched a good 10 minutes of one USFL game this year. And I was like, yeah, nah, this is not for me. This is not like the old USFL. I used to love the old USFL. And I was very excited about the new USFL, but it was just, there was nothing to get with. So anyway, the XFL is coming back. Speaking of Vince McMahon, remember it was Vince McMahon who kind of invented the XFL 20-something years ago. The XFL is coming back next year, and they have unveiled their team markets, the cities that will have XFL teams, and venues. And something interesting here for us local folks. Dallas, there are 3 teams in Texas. Dallas does not have an XFL team. I thought for sure Dallas would join Houston and San Antonio as having their own XFL teams. They don't. But you know who does have an XFL team? Arlington. Oh, here we go. Arlington no longer wants to share, with Dallas. The Arlington Cowboys? The Arlington Rangers? Are we about to see this? The Arlington XFL team. Now, I don't have names. I don't have team names. I'm looking for team names for these. The XFL unveils the markets and the venues for the upcoming season. The markets, the cities that will have XFL teams: Arlington, Texas; Houston, Texas; Orlando, Florida; Las Vegas, Nevada; San Antonio, Texas; Seattle, Washington; St. Louis, Missouri; and Washington, D.C. Those are the only cities that will be putting up XFL teams. What stadiums are they playing in? Let me see here. Arlington. Arlington head coach is going to be Bob Stoops. Ooh, yeah, that's a big name. They're playing at Choctaw Stadium. You guys, where is Choctaw Stadium? Is that the old Rangers Park? What is Choctaw? Is right? Isn't that what it would be? Because there's this big, beautiful baseball stadium, one of the prettiest baseball stadiums I've ever seen in my life, that is just sitting there. It's like 30 years old, and it's vacant. Has that been rebranded as Choctaw Stadium? Because that's where the new XFL team is going to be playing in Arlington. In Houston, they're playing at TDECU Stadium. Their head coach down there in Houston is Wade Phillips. Old friend alert, Wade Phillips. Orlando, they're going to be at Camping World Stadium with Terrell Buckley as their head coach. Las Vegas, they got no venue. That's to be announced. Rod Woodson is the head coach there in Las Vegas. San Antonio is at the Alamo Dome, of course. There's nothing else. Has anything ever called the Alamo Dome home? I mean, is there a I don't know, soccer team or something? So, who is in Hines Ward? Look at that. Gotta love Hines Ward. He's the head coach down there in San Antonio. Again, I don't know what the team names are. In Seattle, they'll be playing at Lumen Field. Jim Haslett, another name right there. In St. Louis, they'll be playing at the Dome, which I guess is it's not like they have multiple domes in St. Louis. Anthony Becht is the head coach there. And in Washington, D.C., they'll be playing at Audi Field with Reggie Barlow. So there you go. The XFL. Can't stop the XFL. Kid Rock is trending. Kid Rock was trending. Kid Rock did a concert last night or over the weekend or was supposed to do a concert, but it got canceled. It was up there in North Dakota. Got canceled because of wind. Because, you're outside. You got you got thousands of people gathered. And, the wind is bad. You got these light towers. We've seen these things happen. We just saw in Indianapolis a few years ago. Remember that country band that was on stage at some big venue in Indianapolis a few years ago, and a tornado came too close and it blew down the roof of the stage and everybody got crushed. Oh, it was a terrible thing. So you got to be careful with this stuff. You can't just do an outdoor concert with big winds coming through because, you're erecting temporary structures and those things aren't always, the best for wind. Kid Rock canceled his North Dakota concert Friday due to bad weather in a move that triggered a backlash from fans who proceeded to trash the venue. What? How? Are you trying to convince me that Kid Rock fans don't know how to behave when they're told something that they don't like? Are you kidding me? He was supposed to take the stage at the North Dakota State Fair in Minot around 9:30 p.m. However, wind and lightning on the outskirts of town continued to delay the show. Fans in the 18,000-person audience reportedly became enraged after a sheriff's deputy announced the concert was canceled. Some people threw beer cans while another man climbed on stage and took a threatening stance before security tackled him, report said. Do we have some video of it? Okay, yeah, so we may as well see the video of... yeah, why not? Okay, here we go. A little video of the people not taking Kid Rock's cancellation as well as we'd hoped. All righty, there we go. Let's see here. We'll pull this up. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see what these hooligans did. All right, try this one. All right, well, that didn't work. All right, so now we got to do. Try it this way. There we go. All right, so here's the scene from the Kid Rock show on Friday after it was announced that the show was canceled. All right, so look at this guy. So this guy, look at this guy. He's like making his, I climbed up on stage. I really want to hear that Bow What a Bow song. He's, let's see how this plays out. Boom! Oh! That's worth seeing again. Hold on, I gotta see that again. Let's bring the sound down. That's a little bit loud, don't you think? We do have to see that again, though. That is fantastic. So, troublemaker guy gets up on stage, looks like he's threatening the security guy. He's got his arms out. That's the security guy. Boom! Form tackle. I hope you bit your tongue, you big fat piece of shit. You big dummy. You don't know how to behave. It's weather. Deal with it. What are you gonna beat up a security guard because the weather is forcing the show to cancel? You freaking moron. One more time. Yeah. Stay off the stage, idiots. Stay off the stage. I hate that. Well, I went up on stage and I got beat up. Yeah, it's because you went up on stage. That's why you got beat up, douche. All right. What else do we have here? Kid Rock. Bob Rafelson. Bob Rafelson is trending today. Bob Rafelson died. Bob Rafelson is another one of these. Bob Rafelson, director, important guy because he kind of changed. Bob Rafelson's a weird dude. Bob Rafelson was best buddies with like Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson. He was co-creator of the Monkees. There you go. Directed 5 Easy Pieces. Was really instrumental in the whole American counterculture turn that came from the, Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, that whole thing. Bob Rafelson, 5 Easy Pieces director and Monkees co-creator, dies at 89 years old. And he died because he was 89 years old. That's what I'm going to go with. David Warner also died. David Warner is an actor. He's an old man actor. He's played in a whole bunch of things. Look, he's one of these guys, David Warner. It's like, oh, yeah, that guy. I know that guy. David Warner, British actor known for The Omen and Tron, has died at 80 years old. The English actor who gave memorable performances on the big screen in a key role in The Omen and as villains in Time After Time, Time Bandits, and Tron has died at 80 years old. So there you go. We've got Bob Rafelson and David Warner both passing away. What else here? We can listen to this. Okay, so we've been doing this. I don't know what's going on with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, I don't think that there are any. I think Joe Rogan's a very smart guy, and I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think anything happens with Joe Rogan by accident. I think that when he says something and the whole world goes, I think that's by design. I think he knows when I say this is going to happen. I think that there is some part of Joe Rogan that now that we're sort of safely, I say, meanwhile, they're trying to scare us again. I was going to say we're safely through the coronavirus thing, but they're going to constantly try and scare us with bullshit about that. And now monkeypox. I think that now that all of that has sort of percolated down, Joe Rogan took a look at where he stood as far as the culture map of America, and he recognized that maybe he might be too far to one side. So within the last couple of weeks, he has gone out of his way on his shows and even on other shows that he has appeared on to not only distance himself from Trump, but distance himself from that whole way of thinking. He has now said in the last 2 weeks, he has trended because he said Trump would never be allowed on his show. He would never want to talk to him. Then he was trending again last week because he went on to say that he thinks that Trump and the Republicans are bad for America and that what they're doing right now is just out of control and someone needs to get a hand. Now, none of this means that he's walking in lockstep with, AOC or anything like that. It just means that he is sort of he seems to be resisting this idea that there are a lot of, what do you want to call it? The MAGA people, the Trump people. There seems to have been, over the last couple of years, a lot of people on that side who have been under the impression that Joe Rogan is one of them. And he now, within the last couple of weeks, seems to really be trying hard to say, no, I am not one of you. And this is the most recent one. This just came from Saturday's Saturday's upload of the Joe Rogan show. Let's give it a listen. Let's listen to what Joe Rogan is, here, where is it? And by the way, it's with Andrew Schultz. I love Andrew Schultz. Who doesn't love Andrew Schultz, right? All right. So I don't know why this isn't working, but okay, so we're going to have to listen to it. Maybe we can do it this way. I don't know. This particular computer, nothing plays. Hold on. Give me a second here, folks. You hit click and it doesn't do anything. That's no bueno. That's no fun. Okay, hold on. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to see if maybe this thing will... Oh, for crying out loud. Here we go. All right, this one seems to be working. I don't know either one, so I'm going to have to use the microphone. It's okay. We're just going to listen to it anyway. Put the sound up.
It's not the same.
All right, here we go.
It's not just abortion rights, but now they're going after gay marriage too, which is so strange to me. That people are like Marco Rubio was saying that it was like a silly thing to argue about, that they'd be concerned about, and then some other senator who is a gay woman confronted him, and she was furious at it. Because gay marriage is not silly. It's marriage. It's marriage for people that are homosexual, and it's for them. It's important. They want it. They want to affirm their love and their relationship. And the fact that they're going after that now almost makes me feel like they want us to fight. They want to divide us in the best way they can, and that this is the best way for them to keep pulling off all the bullshit they're doing behind the scenes, is to get us to fight over things like gay marriage, or get us to fight over things like abortion. It's just like,
yes.
why
Yes.
are you removing freedoms?
Yes.
And and then this new thing where they're gun rights, like trying to go after the Second Amendment. You see that story that recently happened where there's a shooter in a mall?
Can we
and
say
this guy
something about
pulled
the
out
gay
his gun?
marriage real quick?
Yeah, please.
Like, if you're going to say that marriage is an important cultural institution to the fabric of America,
Right.
you can't remove it from Americans.
Right.
You can't go and say, this is important, this is what we do, we create a family, and we love one another, and this is how we
Right.
express our love, and then say, these Americans can't do that shit.
It's so homophobic, because you're saying there's something wrong with being homosexual. By saying that you are opposed to gay marriage, you're saying you're opposed to gay people.
Yeah.
Because if gay people are in love with each other and they want to have a celebration and they want to be legally bonded and connected, and there's all sorts of benefits to that in terms of
Financial benefits.
financial
Like,
benefits,
you build it into the
taxes.
system. Yeah.
But not only that, like if your loved one is in jail, or not in jail, well, that's
on
that's
trial, you can't.
Or I was going to say in a hospital.
Oh, that's right. You have access to them. Yeah.
You have access to them,
Yeah.
and you're the only one that has access to them because you're their spouse. You're the one who has power of attorney if they're incapacitated. Like this,
Yeah.
there's a lot to affirming that relationship, and the fact that they're going after that now, that's the kind of shit that keeps me from being a Republican.
Yeah.
It's only one of the there's a bunch of shit that keeps you from being a Republican.
Yeah.
But that's one of the, people will say oh, you're a secret conservative. Like, you could suck my dick. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm so far away from being a Republican.
Yeah.
Just because I believe in the Second Amendment, and just because I support the military, and just because I support police.
Yeah.
I was on welfare as a kid. I think it's important. I think having a social safety net is
great.
crucial.
Yes.
It's crucial.
Yeah.
We should help each other. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be one big community. I'm a bleeding heart liberal when it comes to a lot of shit.
There it is.
All right, there you have it. All right, so it just appears to me that Joe Rogan is trying to do a little bit of, I don't know if you'd call it damage control, or if he's trying to get the car back on the road after a couple of years of him being pushed into a specific lane. It's just very interesting. The things that he has trended for over the past 3 weeks. You think about the stuff that he has trended for the previous 3 years, and it's all very divisive stuff. It's all very politically divisive kind of issues that he was either waxing poetic about during this, extemporaneous show that he does where he just talks, and sometimes the things that he says isn't really what he feels, but it's just what comes out in the moment. He's a free-flowing broadcaster. He's streaming. He's literally stream of consciousness in the way that he puts his ideas out there. And for 3 years, he did that, and a lot of people were like, God, Joe Rogan, and now he's looking at that label that has been hung on him, where Joe Rogan is this thing on this side. And it seems to me he's doing a little pushback on that. He's like, and again, I theorize maybe they got a lot of Hollywood friends. They got a lot of connected. As big as Joe Rogan is, I think that Joe Rogan still sort of wants to be famous in a different way. Joe Rogan wanted to be a movie star. Joe Rogan wanted to be an actor and a creator. He fell into something, but he fell into this because the other thing wasn't going so great for him. He was doing, UFC stuff. That's fine. But if he was, he wanted to be The Rock, he wanted to be a big time movie star. That's what he got into movies in Hollywood for. After News Radio left, he played Joe on News Radio, and he's very funny on News Radio. But after News Radio went off the air, he didn't get another show. He got Fear Factor, but that's not a show for an actor. That's a show. He's got this incredible career. He's wildly successful, but he's wildly successful in something that he never anticipated being successful in because it didn't exist. When he was 19 years old, thinking about what his goals were for a career, he didn't think podcaster. Podcaster wasn't a thing. So it is, and he finds himself here. And I think that the last couple of weeks have been him trying to sort of reestablish himself as the person that I have always known him to be. He is not a crazy right winger. He is not a left wing. He isn't. He's like the rest of us. Now, he's constantly looking for the joke. He's constantly looking for the humor. That's just how he's wired. He's a comedian. So when he speaks extemporaneously for a long period of time, he might say some things in search for the joke that a lot of people take as, oh, I hated him saying that. But this idea that he's just this awful, terrible person, I never really bought into. I was certainly disappointed in some of the things that he was being accused of. But now we're at a point now where I think Joe Rogan is trying to straighten it back out. He's trying, which I don't know. We'll see. He doesn't want to be Alex Jones, is obviously the vibe that I'm getting from him. He does not want to be Alex Jones, someone who exists and thrives in a very narrow vacuum of a very specific group of people. Nude beach. There was a murder on a nude beach in France. How's that? Is that interesting to you? So here's what happened in France. Apparently there's a whole bunch of nude beaches there in France. So a dude who goes to the nude beach all the time. He's like an old dude. He's exactly what you expect at a nude beach. Just an old, gross looking dude. Old dudes at the beach, goes to the beach all the time. There's a new dude at the nude beach. And I got to imagine when new people show up at the nude beach, the people who are always at the nude beach notice the new person. Probably very suspicious, one would imagine. Well, the new guy at the nude beach, he started beating it. Just started doing what, weird ass people might do at a nude beach. So grandpa nude beach guy, he sees new nude beach guy, pleasuring himself there. And he says, hey, you can't do that here. And the guy who was pleasuring himself apparently didn't stop. And nude beach grandpa took that as an insult. Hey, I'm talking to you, and yet here you are still spanking it. So nude beach grandpa went back to his little nude beach bag and blanket setup that he had there, and he pulled out a gun and killed him. Boom, boom. There you go. Killed him. So nude beach grandpa killed a guy for beating it on a nude beach. And finally today, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is trending. New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson is trending because it's being rumored that Zach Wilson is banging his mom's best friend. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Zach Wilson, there you go. And then we've got this. Yeah, I've been looking at the chat room. I know. I was just looking to pull something up for me. We do have another celebrity death today. Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino has died. This is breaking right now. Paul Sorvino, actor in Goodfellas and That Championship Season, dies at 83 years old. The Tony-nominated star played bad guys as well as cops, including Detective Phil Serretta on Law & Order. Yeah, was he like the first season of Law & Order? Like Jerry Albach, he replaced this guy, right? Paul Sorvino. The burly character actor who made a career out of playing forceful types, most notably the cold-hearted mobster Paulie Cicero in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, has died. He was 83 years old. Sorvino, the father of Oscar-winning actress Mia Sorvino, died Monday of natural causes, his wife Dee Dee announced. Our hearts are broken. There will never be another Paul Sorvino. He was the love of my life and one of the greatest performers to ever grace the screen and stage. He had such a nice, happy face. You know, he did. For those of you who don't, I mean, I'm sure you all know who Paul Sorvino is, right? He played these scary-ass characters, almost always mob guys, but he had this, like, really sweet, kind, disarming face about him. Look at him. Yeah, look at this. It was too bad. I'll pull up his Wikipedia page. Let's see if Paul Sorvino is worthy of a... There he is. Look at him. Look at the happy. He's got kind eyes. He's got a nice everything's going to be okay kind of smile working. Yeah, seems like a good dude. All right, let me pull up Paul Sorvino's Wikipedia page. Let's see. Let's see what he's done, because of course we all know Goodfellas. Paul Sorvino. There we go. Wikipedia. Oh, look at that. Wikipedia's got it updated already. I always like to check Wikipedia because Paul Sorvino is an American actor, but it doesn't say that. It says Paul Sorvino was. Ooh, they make that big change on Wikipedia. Filmography. All right. He's done a lot of TV too, so I think we're going to have to look at the TV thing. He was in Panic in Needle Park. That was 1971. That was the movie that got Al Pacino, The Godfather. Panic in Needle Park. Let's see what else. What else do we have here? Cruising. He was in Cruising. Have you ever seen Cruising? I was in this Al Pacino thing. Is that Al Pacino or De Niro? I think it's Al Pacino. I was like, I don't know, mid-'80s. I think it was probably after Scarface or something. I got into a big Al Pacino thing, and I wanted to just see everything that Al Pacino did. And or was it, I don't know. Is it Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? Nah, it's Pacino. So I went to the video store, and I saw this movie called Cruising, and I rented Cruising at like 14 years old. Have you ever seen Cruising? It's about the gay cruise scene in New York City and how the police were involved in it. He did Reds, Paul Sorvino, That Championship Season. That's a good movie. Turk 182, Dick Tracy, Goodfellas, Paulie Cicero. Yeah, that's the big one. He was in the Nixon movie. He played Kissinger in the Nixon movie. He was in The Firm, Romeo and Juliet. He did a lot of stuff. Man, he's got a lot of movies. Not a lot. Like, he's not a leading man. Like, he was a great character actor. So what's the last thing he did? I'm just scanning really quick. This guy, I'm telling you, man. Holy cow. He's got a lot of movies. 2017 alone, the guy made 5 movies. 2016, he made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies. Jesus, this guy just cranked him out. He would just do whatever. Good for him. All right? He probably started out, wanted to be a big movie star, a leading man, probably wanted to be Paul Newman or somebody like that, and then realized, hey, that's not in my cards. I got to just play side dudes. I got to play character actors. Maybe I can make an impression. Well, you did with Paulie Cicero and Goodfellas. All right, there you have it. Paul Sorvino has passed away. Let me see. Let's see. Is there anything else that we need? Boom, 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 boom. Thank you for letting the dog in. The dog is barking outside. All right, we got to go. We got stuff that we got to get into today. That's going to do it. Join us tonight on Pillow Talk. That's me and Parker. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. It is a Monday, so I have to believe that Kelly's going to be on with us. We shall see. Fingers crossed. Here's hoping. She's a very busy lady. She's got a whole bunch of kids and a husband and a house that she's running down there. But it is Monday, and she does typically appear on Mondays. Al, hold on. This is important. Al says, went to Jimmy's Italian over the weekend. Okay, Al. And what did you think of Jimmy's? Come on. You don't just say you went to Jimmy's. You got to give me the whole thing. Oh, Al says, thank you. Gave me a lot of points with my Italian wife. Oh, yeah, it's a legit. It is. Hold on. What's going on in there? You fighting with the dog? The kid is fighting with the dog. All right. Yeah, Jimmy's, man. It's right there at like Ross and Bryan. I don't know. It's over there in that area of town. Yeah, you'll find it. Just look up Jimmy's Food Store. It is the most legit Italian deli that I've ever seen in Texas. Now I love Weinberger's. Weinberger's is a legit deli. Weinberger's is a German deli. There are different kinds of delis. If you want an Italian deli where it's just got all of the imported Italian stuff and it's just aisles and aisles of beans and oils and wines and sauces and just all kinds of stuff. I'm glad you liked it, Al. Yeah, I love that place. Okay, tonight, Pillow Talk. Me, Parker, probably Kelly. And now I got to go handle some kid stuff. So appreciate you. Tip the show if you can. We're at the end of the month. I'm going to start pushing that this week. And if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. So is life. Appreciate anybody who does help out. I appreciate the people who are also just here every day. So thank you so much for that. Gonna say goodbye to Joel. Gonna say goodbye to Channel 9. Gonna say goodbye to Melissa. Gonna say goodbye to Adam, JBM, all of you, April, Byron, Rick, Leslie. You know what I want to do? I want to start doing that. I want to get one of those mirrors. I want to start doing like romper room. I see April. I see Al. I see Melissa. All right. Best is yet to come. Okay, bye, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock right here for Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Have a great day. Oh, have a great day. I'm telling you, have a great day. What is the temperature? Let's play a little 102 degrees. 102 degrees currently in Highland Park, Texas. Can you beat that? Let's play a little heat wave poker. Where are you at? Tell me what the temperature is where you're at right now and tell me tell me the temperature and where you're at. I got 102 in Highland Park. Heat wave poker. Waiting for the chat room to chime in. Come on, heat wave poker. Got 102 here in Highland Park. Leslie gives me 100 in Rockwall. Ross gives me 101 in Farmers Branch. Joel gives me, he's in Greenville, South Carolina, 91. You got it all figured out there, Joel. All right, looks like Highland Park is the high. 102 in Fort Worth. There's your winner.